Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and welcome to Reimagining Gamma on the Lily, the ladies of Islam and light on YouTube. I'm your host, Imani Canty, and I'm here today with Soror and co-founder, president, executive director of Gamma Gamma Chi Sorority Incorporated, Dr. Althia Ali. Welcome, Soror. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good to have you here. Thank you for doing this interview.
My pleasure, alhamdulillah.
So, alhamdulillah, Gamma Gamma Chi has been celebrating 9 years of striving for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through sisterhood, scholarship, leadership, and community service. And the latest buzz is Reimagining Gamma. So now, can you tell us a little bit about Reimagining Gamma and how and why it came into existence?
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. First of all, I want to start by giving thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us Gamma Gamma Chi Sorority. This idea came to Imani 9 years ago, and possibly even before that, but that's when she shared it with me. And when you talked to me about it, I said, this is an idea whose time has come, I believe. And now here it is, alhamdulillah, mashallah, 9 years later, and we do have a sorority with chapters everywhere. We've envisioned a lot for Gamma, and alhamdulillah, we've been able to achieve a lot. But as you look at organizational development, one of the things that's always important to do is to step back and take a look at what you wanted to do versus what you're actually doing, and then to assess whether that helps you to be able to do what you want to do in the future, inshallah. And so as we were looking at and celebrating our 9th year, one of the things I thought was important is for us to do just that, and that is to step back and look at Gamma and say, okay, when we started out, we were looking at a set of goals and objectives that we wanted to achieve. Now that we have actual people in actual chapters, in actual cities, in actual communities, then we want to see, are we doing what we thought we wanted to do? Are we doing what we thought we could do? And are we doing what is important for us to do as an organization? And so by having this task force made up of several subgroups, then it gives us an opportunity to do that and to step back and say, okay, let's look at the strengths of Gamma, the weaknesses of Gamma, the opportunities of Gamma, and the threats to Gamma's future. And by putting all of our sorors together to look at various components of the sorority, that gives us a chance to have a real as-is condition, and then to make sure that we're doing things that we think are important and critical for the future of the sorority, if we should be blessed to have the sorority in the future.
Okay, inshallah. So tell us a little bit about the task force that you just mentioned.
The task force is, the whole focus is to position Gamma's present, to build upon Gamma's past, present, and future, inshallah. That's our tagline, so to speak. And as we're doing that, one of the things I think everybody knows who's ever done organizational development or leadership is that you have to have the people who are going to do the work involved in the planning the work. And so what we have now are 6 subgroups that are looking at things like policies and procedures. They're looking at our ceremonies. They're looking at our recruitment and our retention. They're looking at our membership services. And they're looking at everything that has to do with who we are as an organization, to make sure that we are indeed made up of the kinds of, that we have the processes in place, and that we have the structure that's necessary to be able to support our membership and to be able to attract new members to the sorority.
Okay, so that's a lot.
It is a lot, mashallah, and that's why we need our sorors, and mashallah, so many of the sorors have expressed an interest in helping, and by dividing up the work, a big task becomes much lighter. Mm-hmm. And so by having this huge task before us, you and I, as a part of national headquarters, and then the board of directors could sit down and do the work, but that gives us no buy-in. And so when you have people in the chapters who are helping to form the work and to say, these are the priorities, this is what we think is good, this is what we think needs to be tweaked or replaced or eliminated altogether, then that's the kind of thing then that makes the task much lighter for everybody.
Okay, so now, what are some of the goals and objectives that this task force will take on?
The overall goal is to make sure that we position Gamma for the future, inshallah. That is our overarching goal. We don't want to have practices that we know are not working. We don't want to have any kind of barrier to membership or any barrier to continued membership in the sorority. And so if we're looking at our policies and procedures, and if we're looking at our probationary period, our whole intake process, our membership services, and we see that there are some areas that are weak based on experience, then it's our responsibility then to strengthen those and to shore them up so that we can serve our members better. Because in addition to making sure that Gamma continues to survive as an organization is nothing without members. And so if we don't have the kind of sorority that meets the needs of our members, then they'll vote with their feet, as I always say, and that is they'll leave. Membership, we always say in Gamma, is a lifelong commitment. Once a Gamma, always a Gamma. And that can be in the heart, but we want more than just the heart involved in Gamma. We want the actual physical presence of those sorors, because that allows us to do the work that we've planned, and that is by working in our respective communities. And so if we don't have the physical presence of those sorors, then we've lost a lot, and we don't want that to be a missed opportunity that we look back on with regret.
So now, having laid the groundwork, what do you hope that will come out of Reimagining Gamma?
I hope that we will come out with some real tangible deliverables. I want us to make sure that when we have our policies and procedures in our national manual, they are real, they are based on actual experiences, and they have proven themselves to be effective. One of the other things I want is to make sure that when we bring a person in as a soror, that we retain her, and not just on the books, but actually coming to chapter meetings, working in the community with the various projects that the chapters are doing. That's very important. One of the other things I want us to do is to help get greater and better and more visibility for the sorority. We want more and more people to know about who we are as a sorority. But beyond that, what Muslim women are all about as well. We want to be able to help to, in terms of where the stereotypes are, we want to dispel those stereotypes. We want to dispel the myths and the rumors. And we want people to see what college-educated Muslim women are all about. And by first-hand experiences, by working with us, by seeing us, and by just letting us be able to represent ourselves to our various communities. So that's another thing, is to increase visibility. Beyond that, we want our sorority to be available and to be around for our daughters and our granddaughters and our nieces and our neighbors and so on. That's very important. And so if we don't get it right now, we will, inshallah, have other opportunities to do it. But why wait until then? And so we want to make sure that we are helping to reach out to prospective members, both those who are adults, whether they're in college or they've already graduated. But we also want to reach out and branch out to include younger people, those who will be Gammas in the future, inshallah, whether they are our legacies, or if they're friends of legacies, or if they're just people in the masajids that we go to. Those are things that we want to come out of this. So it's a tall order, but it's doable, and I believe Allah, having blessed us as much as He has already, will continue to, as long as we remember that our motto is striving for the pleasure of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, through sisterhood, scholarship, leadership, and community service. And so we want to keep reminding our sorors and our communities that this is why Gamma is here, and this is why you're a member of Gamma. And while it was exciting at the beginning, we want it to continue to be exciting, but it's going to require their work, each and every soror's work, to continue to give life and breadth and depth to the organization.
Wow. Okay. Well, everything that you've talked about, it does echo the purpose of Gamma and the mission of Gamma, and even the, not just the motto of Gamma, but the, help me out, so
the essence, just the essence of who we are as a sorority.
Exactly.
Our
okay.
ethos.
Okay, all right. So, having said all of that, what is the message that you want sorors to take away from this interview? And also those who are not a part of Gamma, they may want to be Gammas one day, inshallah, or even just be contributors to Gamma. What would you tell them? What's the message to them as well?
Well, let me start with our sorors. Sorors, we love you. We love you as much today as we did the very first day that we met you when we had our gold presentation. We loved you because we believed that you could contribute to the growth and development of Gamma Gamma Chi Sorority Incorporated. Many of you have made an equal commitment that Imani and I have made to the sorority, and that is, regardless of what happens, we're not going to leave Gamma. We bought into this, we made a commitment, and regardless of some hardships or some complications or some changes in our lives, we have been here, and we have a number of sorors who have done that, and I thank Allah for them, and I thank them as well for that kind of commitment. Even if you have been away for a while, you're always welcome back in your sorority. All you have to do is make a phone call, send an email, get us on Facebook, anything to let us know. Now things have changed to the point where I can become an active part of the sorority once again. So that's one piece. The other piece is that we cannot continue without you. And the same excitement that you had when you first learned about us and when you were first inducted, and you remember you got the pin and all the things that go with that intake process, that is inevitably, it's like a love affair. It's going to wane. But if there's true commitment to the sorority, and if there's a true commitment to serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Gamma, then it doesn't matter what goes on in the background. That commitment should not, and inshallah will not waver. And so that's been the case for a number of us. We want you to know also that if there are personality issues that might have come into a reason that you've become inactive, it happens. It happens. As Muslims, though, we know that we have 3 days, and then we have to get over it, and we have to move on. And so 3 days have passed, and we want you back. So those to the sorors who have left, to the sorors who have remained constant and remain faithful, alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you richly. May you continue to grow in Gamma, and may you continue to help build Gamma into the kind of sorority that will be here for our daughters, our granddaughters, our nieces, and others who are interested in having a twofold sisterhood. And that then is the message that I would leave with sorors. We never have stopped having a twofold sisterhood with you, whether we've seen you or we've not. You've been in our hearts and in our minds, and we want you in the place as well. So come back, reach out to your chapter president or any officer, reach out to National, and we will help you to get re-established in Gamma. For those of you who are thinking about Gamma, I'd ask you to take that just a step further. First step is always the membership inquiry form. You can find that on our website at www.gammagammachi.org. Click on member or membership, go in, fill out a membership inquiry form. That's what you need to get the ball rolling. Once we have enough if it's a new chapter, then inshallah, we will make arrangements to hold a gold presentation. And that's an informational meeting where we tell you about Gamma. And then we'll go on from there and on from there to membership. But it's not just automatic. You have to make the first step toward us. And although it is a mutual selection process, unless we hear from you and until we hear from you, there's nothing more we can do. If you cannot be a member, maybe because you don't meet the eligibility requirements, and ours are the same as with many other sororities, and that is you either need to be working on a degree or working toward at least a bachelor's degree. And you need to be, if you're enrolled in school, you need to have at least a 3.5 and a 4.0 grade point average. And then there are just some other things that we tell you about in that. But if for some reason you cannot meet those membership requirements, we ask you to support the activities that we do in the community. And we ask you to tell others about Gamma who do meet the eligibility requirements, because it's important to have the kind of critical mass that we want and that we need to be able to sustain a chapter. So that's very important as well. If for some reason you do see an activity that Gamma is sponsoring, we ask you to support it. And it can be simply by attending or by referring us to someone else or by reposting something that you see on Facebook or retweeting something that you see. Anything and everything that you do to help disseminate information about Gamma helps us to have increased visibility. So we're here for you. We want to be here for you in the future, inshallah, but we can't do it without you.
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. This was just, alhamdulillah. Thank you for speaking with the sorors and prospective members of Gamma Gamma Chi and contributors to Gamma, inshallah. And I'm Imani Canty with Reimagining Gamma. Until next time, inshallah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.